Hello, everyone. This is James with Unity of Greenville. Thanks for being with me today. I appreciate it very much. This is our metaphysics class, and today I want to talk to you about the universal presence. You might say, what do you mean by the universal presence? Well, you think about, we talk about God a lot in this world, and all the various religions and non-religions, and even atheists talk a lot about God, which is interesting. Um, but there is this idea that when we pray, that somehow God hears us. Well, how does that happen? Well, the presence of God is everywhere and is universal. It is not static or in one location. It is all encompassing. Because we all live together in this oneness soup. And this oneness is all inclusive. Everything is connected. No one is left out. Now, the earth is a connecting point to everyone and everything else because we all traverse or walk upon the same ground as someone in Asia, Australia, China. Whenever I'm walking on the ground, I'm connected to the same earth. I'm connected to every other person walking on the earth. Now, we all breathe the same oxygen. We view the heavens. All of us look at the heavens, the same sky, basically. We live under the same moon and the sun. And so that's just all the physiological ways that we're all connected. And that's just some things. There's so much more I could get into. But we're also connected through the one Spirit. In Unity, we teach and believe that there is only one power and one presence in our lives, which is God the Good. And we are all joined together by this spiritual web that is not too dissimilar or unlike the internet. But it's a spiritual web. And it's a web that we all are a part of, that we're all connected to. It's like when a spider creates a web, she spins her web, and then she's looking for something to eat. And say a fly or a bug of some kind gets tangled up in the web. Well, the way that she knows there's something in the web is because there is a vibration that goes out, and she feels that vibration and knows that there's something there for her to eat. Isn't that interesting? Because this web is connected, and it's the same with the spiritual web that we all are part of. Now, I believe that the greatest revelation you can have is that you are primarily spirit. Yes, you do have a body, you have a mind, but you are primarily a spiritual being with a divine identity. Creation is already one. The oneness already exists. And so does peace on earth. Peace on earth is already here. It already exists. But are you and I participating in that peace on earth? Are we participating in the oneness? Because we're all responsible individually for ourselves. And it's up to us to experience and to sense and feel our connection with life. And I believe that sensing that connection is really the whole thing. Okay? It's really the whole thing. If I feel my connection with you, then I'm not going to hurt you. because you're part of me. When you see past the separateness of the human body, then you can begin to understand that we are all one creation. There's only one creation. There's only one species. There's only one race, the human race. There's only one planet, and this planet, you and I, were meant to move as one. It's like the whole earth is an orchestration of a dance, of a symphony, of an opera, of a concert. And you and I are all pieces and parts of it. But it's up to us to learn how to experientially sense our oneness with this one creation and be part of this spiritual web that holds it all together. And it is my belief that that is the whole goal of being on this planet, so that at some point that every living being on this planet moves as one, operates in harmony with each other, and walks together with each other, and is able to love and appreciate one another. And so this one planet that we're on, I was listening to some scientists discuss this idea that when the astronauts go into outer space and they look back on the planet, they don't see the lines of separation. They don't see, the individual states in the United States. They don't see the boundaries. They don't see fences. None of this. They just see this one beautiful planet with oceans and land. And they gain a cosmic perspective on life. They see from a higher viewpoint. And in that moment, many of those astronauts, when they come back, and I think that William Shatner had this sense, had this feeling, that when you look back and you see that there's just this one beautiful planet, and we are all on this one planet together, and we're all here to learn how to be with each other, to learn how to appreciate one another, how to work together, and how that each one of us is unique, and you will never lose your uniqueness because we all have different skills, different talents, different abilities, but there's only one presence, there's only one power, there's only one spirit, one energy that we are part of. And as we learn to come into what our purpose is, then that begins to work in harmony with others. It's a beautiful thing. I believe that Jesus actually prayed for this. He said, Father, I pray that they may be one, even as you and I are one. Now, what did he mean? Well, he's talking about the oneness, and how that Jesus would say things like, if you've seen me, you've seen God. You've seen the Father. And it was this idea that he was a reflection. He was in alignment with, he was in harmony with the divine. And so he was praying that we would also actually sense that oneness, and that we could learn about it and allow it to be expressed in us and through us and in our lives. And so this universal presence is very intelligent, and it works in and through each of us. And if we allow it, it will teach us what we need to know. It will direct us, it will guide us, it will help us to become the highest and best version of ourselves that we can be. But you have to pay attention to it. You have to be aware of this universal presence and know that it's universal. Know that it's everywhere. One person said, there is no spot where God is not. And I believe that. There is no place that exists outside of divinity, except for our beliefs that we are separate, our beliefs that we are divided. It is our beliefs that keep us from understanding and experiencing our oneness with each other, because we truly are all one. We truly um, are part of the same race, the same planet, the same, you know, we're all people. We all have very similar needs and desires. And according to our DNA, 99.999% of our DNA is the same. It's only just a little bit that makes us different. And it's the differences that we come to appreciate and enjoy about one another. And that is the spiritual life. It's learning how to be with anyone and everyone in a calm and quiet way. Now, there are many attributes of oneness that we can talk about. I believe that to be in the spirit with another person is to be in love with them. Because if you're in the spirit with them, then you are in love with them. If you are in love with them, then you're connecting in a high spiritual way. That's why when two people come together and they decide that they want to be more, than that they love each other, then there is this experience that people have, this coming together, this communion of spirit, this exchange of ideas. They finish each other's sentences. They are so connected to each other that they're constantly thinking about each other. And you might say, well, James, that's just romantic love and that'll soon, wear off. Well, there are aspects of it that do possibly. But when you understand and realize that you are joined together with everybody and that it is your responsibility to sense that connection and to practice the idea of love with all people in one sense, we're all married to each other. Okay? We're all part of each other. We're all connected. And love is what connects us. And that's why that Jesus and all other spiritual teachers worth their salt said that it was primary, that love is primary. Love is the connecting force that brings us together. If I can learn to see you as another version of myself, then I would only want what is good for you, because that's what I want for myself. I want my needs to be met. I want to be happy. I want to be joyful. I want to be healthy. And I want that for you too, because you're just another aspect of me, another piece, another part of me, another representation of me. You're me as you. All right. And so we're all connected and we're all, part of each other. But it's out of that loving connection that comes peace on earth. As we truly begin to love each other and respect each other and care for each other, then that leads to a peaceful quality of life. And you might say, well, James, when are we going to find that? Well, you can find it now for yourself. You can begin to live this way right now. Doesn't mean that everybody else has to. It just means that you've chosen to. It just means that this is the path that you've chosen for your life. This is the spiritual life, to practice love with everyone, including yourself. And that is what produces peace in your life. The fruit of peace comes out of love. Patience comes from love. Kindness comes from love and compassion. All of these things comes from the practice of loving kindness. Honesty and integrity in politics, right? That's what happens when you practice love. You cannot be anything other than honest. You cannot be anything other than in your integrity, politically speaking, rather than I must get mine by hook or crook. And that's what a lot of people think today, that they have to be mean, that they have to bully, that they have to uh, take what they want, rather than realizing that the universe is constantly flowing to us everything. We just need eyes to see it. We just need to be open to that goodness and that love and that light and that peace. I know in my own life, sometimes I get stuck and maybe I have a block that keeps me from receiving in a particular area of my life. And in that moment, I'm blind. I can't see what I need to see. And so it takes a revelation for me. It takes me being quiet and listening and watching and observing and paying attention. Sometimes it takes action on my part. Sometimes it takes me, um, praying and asking for help. Sometimes I receive direction and guidance in dreams. When I'm in the dream state, I'll receive intuitive wisdom and knowledge and understanding. It's a beautiful thing. And I realize that, yes, we are all connected in so many ways that we don't have to bully others. We don't have to steal from others. We don't have to push people, manipulate people. Our politics does not have to be the way that it is sometimes. We can have honesty and integrity, but it has to be the choice of the individual. It's not a party that we're talking about, it's individuals that we're talking about. And it's the same in any other area of life. If you believe that you have to, push people around, manipulate people in order to get what you want, then you're not acting from a place of love. You're acting from a place of greed. You're acting from a place of this belief that you cannot get what you need, and so you have to make people give you what you want. And that's not really true. I believe that if we practice love with ourselves and with others, then that will open the door to finding peace. That will open the door for us to find what we need in our lives. So it's a love. Love is a practice. Okay. And so in the beginning, you'll have these euphoric feelings and it's wonderful. But then, there are times when you just have to walk according to your faith and belief and trust in the positive good, trust in the universal presence that will take care of you. You know, when we are walking in love, people will feel safe around us. Animals will feel safe. And food is a higher quality. And energy becomes available to us. And no one is left out. You see, the universal presence doesn't want to leave anybody out. That's human beings who do that because human beings think that there's only so much of anything. In some religions, they only believe that God only has so much love. And when you get to a certain point, God won't love you anymore. Well, that's just not true, because love is unconditional, it's unlimited, and it's universal when we talk about divinity. There's plenty of everything we need on this planet to live as happy, healthy human beings. There's a scripture in the Bible, and I love this scripture. It says that in that day they will beat their swords and weapons into plowshares. Isn't that beautiful? At some point, we have to lay down our swords and our weapons. And those are not just tanks and guns and nuclear weapons. In actuality, there are your words can be swords and can be weapons. You can have a defensiveness that you walk around in that puts people off. You can have bad feelings about other people that you carry with you. And these are your weapons. You're trying to keep people at a distance. You're trying to keep people from harming you because you think that they will harm you. And maybe not. Someone is going to have to begin to practice love and start beating. We have to beat the swords and the weapons in our own lives into those plowshares. What's a plowshare? It's a rototiller. you know, it's a way to till the soil so you can plant some good seeds and reap a beautiful harvest. And that is your job. That's my job. That's why we're here, to experience this universal presence. Life is very short. And so it's important that we get the punchline, that we get the point, that we develop this cosmic, this universal perspective and begin to see that this one power, one presence is available to everybody. Doesn't matter your culture, doesn't matter your religion, doesn't matter your politics, doesn't matter who you are, who you think you are. This power is available to all of us. All right. So I'm going to stop here for now, but I invite you to consider ways that you can allow this sense of oneness, this sense of awe and wonder into your life more and more, and experience more fully this one universal spirit that we are all a part of. All right. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. If you'd like to make a donation to our community, go to unitychurchofgreenville.com or .org, and you can make a donation there. We really appreciate it very much. And we just came through the Christmas season. Wow, I hope you had a great Christmas and you enjoyed the holidays. And we're getting ready now to experience a brand new year. And let me just invite you. You can come in person or you can watch our live stream on YouTube or Facebook or on our website. And we're going to have a burning bowl ceremony this coming Saturday at 6:30. Saturday at 6:30, and we'll be uh, out with the old and in with the new. That's going to be our focus. I have some good music and a little sharing time, and it's going to be just fantastic. So if you can be with us in person, I know that you would enjoy it, or you can watch us online either way. And then Sunday, we're going to have a Q&A. We like to do this once in a while where we just open it up and say, hey, what do you want to talk about? What kind of questions do you have? What kind of comments would you like to make that we could consider and talk about? So lots of good things coming up. I appreciate you being with me today. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you soon.